Who's the more fool? The fool or the fool who follows him? Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. Guys, today we've got another top 10, actually, it's a top 15 list, or actually top 14, because we're not going to talk about a ship, because who cares? We've got Klesso on with me. He's a member of the Gambit Alliance, great player, currently about 20 banners ahead of me in the standings in Division 1. Amazing at GAC, amazing at everything else, including life. Klesso, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I know we've been talking about doing this video for a little bit, so I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, dude. I think it'll be good. You'll have at least like one good insight, I bet. So,
Hopefully one, maybe.
so yeah, yeah. I think you know at least one thing. So, so the idea here, guys, is we're gonna talk about how CG has given us arbitrary conditions on gearing these characters, and actually they're all reasonable in terms of like Kenobi's life. We have Galactic Legend Kenobi coming out, whatever name you want to call him. We were talking about our dispositions toward various nicknames, and we haven't found a consensus of the best. But Kenobi, Galactic Legend, is coming to the game, and there are a bunch of different characters that we have to gear, whether we like it or not. And it would be I don't know about you, Klesso. I would prefer to have some kind of use for them at least.
Yeah, it's always nice if you're going to have these prerequisites to have a use for them outside of just needing them to unlock a character.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So it's nice. We're gonna talk about all of them. All Some of them are gonna be just like the most obvious, and we don't have to spend much time on them. But some of them are kind of niche, and it's nice to have a couple uses for them. So we're gonna actually just go through them in the order which they were announced. So week one things we're gonna, like I said, ignore negotiator. That's pretty self-evident in a lot of ways. But let's talk about the guy with the rank or the title, the negotiator, General Kenobi himself. He needs to be Relic 8, and it's going to be real hard to find a use for him, I'm guessing.
Yeah, not much use for him. No, he's awesome, especially as it pertains to GAC with being on a Padme team and everything, and then also being, having the best capital ship in the game. So can't go wrong with having a G8 Kenobi for sure.
Well, right. I mean, when they said we needed Relic 8 on
Relegate.
General Kenobi, I was like, this is awesome. We don't have to have a Relic 8 Old Ben. Like, I thought
Right.
that was an option. That was a
Yeah.
possibility.
Right. Yeah. I already had him at Relegate because of his ship, so I was like, "Yep, fine with me."
Right. I mean, so a lot of these are actually the things that I don't like about some of these are the fact that everyone else is going to have them now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because it's like if someone has been negligent and just like willfully ignoring the fact that they need a Relic 8 on Kenobi, they might not have. In GAC, it's like, okay, this is cool. I only have to face a Relic 7 one. Uh,
Right.
but now everyone's just going to accidentally have it.
Right.
So.
Yep. And we're not anywhere near this, but I'm guessing you're thinking about Django as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. I 100%. I actually think I'm going to get him Relic 8 just so I can be more fancy than everyone
Yeah,
else.
yeah, yeah. We'll get
But
to that in a little bit.
we can get back to that. Yeah.
Right.
So, anyways, we've got Kenobi. He's useful everywhere. Lately in 3v3, I'll just say this: in 3v3, my always thing has always been he goes with Padme and Jedi Anakin, and instead lately I've been putting him in 3v3 with Shaak Ti and Jedi Luke, just so that Shaak Ti can be a little slower, and he still kind of shuts down that Vader counter.
Right.
Um, and then the other team is the Padme team. It seems like it hasn't actually changed at all
No, I
in
actually kind of
output.
like it with the dispel from Ahsoka on that. I mean, GK's his taunt is obviously amazing, but I think it makes more sense. Like I used them all last 3v3 as well as this one with that Jedi Knight Luke and Shaak T team, and I love it on there. I'd rather that than old Ben, and
Yeah,
I've had no downfall. From having Ahsoka as the third, it still beats what I need it to beat.
yeah, agreed. He's pretty magic. So let's move on to less obvious characters, I guess. Next up is Aayla Secura, the only blue character in the game. No, actually, Thrawn is. That's
Yeah.
probably just the raw. There's probably like multiple. There's Mission. Wow, we could make a top 10 blue
Top 10
characters.
list of blue characters.
That would be epic on its own. But Ayla, I was surprised. Like she'd always been grouped in uh, like in this category of characters who are just not like they're worthless Jedi kind of. And
Right.
I was surprised when I read her kit. I was like, this doesn't suck. This isn't bad. I mean, her stats aren't the very
Anyone
best, but
anyone that does something on basic, I really like. Like she stuns on basic. So under Jedi Master Luke, she's so good on that team, especially in fives.
oh man.
In JAC, you can just keep calling her to assist with the lead ability. You're charging up your ultimate and you're just stun locking the entire other team. It's awesome. I love her.
It's so funny, yeah, dude. I call it whack-a-mole because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you're out of stun. I guess Ayla, do your thing. it's it is. That's what's one of my favorite things. Like when you get the opportunity to do it, it's super fun.
Yeah. Now it's not on this list, but Plo Koon has another. He dispels on basic. That's amazing on that Jedi Master Luke team.
Yeah, his mechanics for dispel are kind of weird, but that's neither here nor there. We can talk.
Right.
That's actually would be a decent video as well, like best basics in the game or
Yep.
something like that. But anyways, yeah, she's got some good stuff. I like that she can sometimes just drag someone else in to help assist as well.
Hmm.
And like so she and here's the other thing about her is she's gonna go decently well. At least she'll be a candidate early on to go with Kenobi, just because he likes to have all these counters and assists and everything, and she's gonna play like a pretty interesting role with that, just because she automatically counters, she automatically drags people
Right.
into assist, and that's going to event like that'll lead to him gaining his ultimate, etc. But in theory, I have no
Right.
idea if she'll be the best. But yeah, I actually geared her up. You can if people can see my screen. I think her requirement is Relic 3, but I had her at 4 because I already had her geared up before the
Right.
requirements because she goes well. She actually also goes well with Padme.
Goes great with Padme. Phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. She does that stun thing. Like she can really disrupt different people. It's super fun. I also call her the blue meanie for some reason. So, um, anyways, the next one is pretty tricky to stay positive about. Mace Windu, uh, he has a purple lightsaber. That's cool.
Wee.
Yeah.
But here's an example of a Jedi that doesn't do much on his basic. So under Jedi Master Luke, not that great. But under new Galactic Legend Kenobi, you were thinking he might be pretty decent, being a tank.
Maybe. I mean,
He has the
there,
potential.
there's going to be like this really limited tryout period where all the Galactic Republic Jedi tanks are all going to get in line, and he's going to be in there with Plo Koon
Right.
and Jedi Guardian or whatever the one with the strange ears, and
Yeah. Yep.
and then like General Kenobi, and it's like okay, so I would love it if General Kenobi doesn't have to be used with the Galactic Legend Kenobi because he's so useful elsewhere.
Right.
So what other tanks could maybe be helpful here? And Mace, maybe he'll be good. His stats aren't the very best for a tank, but I mean the fact that he's a tank is maybe his redeeming quality. Plus, you mentioned like his fleet can actually still do some okay things, but it
Right.
just requires kind of the
Stealing a
wrong
little
ships.
bit. Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's okay. No, it's not. It sucks. It really does. Right now, it just is atrocious. We need other ships for it, but
Right.
yeah. But the goal of this isn't to just say like, oh, here guys, like Mace is meta now because we said so. It's
Right.
like, okay, we'll find a small use, and there's a glimmer of hope. Otherwise, he can be the guy at the whole community focuses on forever as needing the guy who needs a rework the most,
Right.
and like that's his special place in the community.
Right.
So, finally, on the first line of requirements, we have Bo-Katan Kryze. And she's actually one of the more contentious ones in terms of use. There are people, I know I've struggled to find good uses for her. Other better players than me, yourself included, have actually found solid use for her. What are you doing with Bo-Katan?
Yeah, I use her specifically on a BAM team in fives, especially to counter Grievous. She actually works out really well. A lot of people would use either Nest and Kara, but I like using her and Kara as the fourth and fifth on that team because she has the AOE, and that just gets his stacks of whistling birds up the same amount as Nest's AOE. So, and it's a really good AOE. So if you clock it, you can either clock her fourth or fifth, and you'll get max whistling birds with her. So it works out really well.
Nice. Yeah, she's fun. I would just keep hoping she's gonna be somewhere else. Like yeah, you're right. She fits into that team fine. I have this really weird lazy thing where I don't want to remod that team,
Mm,
and so that's my own issue. But I also part of that is because I don't want to remod it when she might just get taken away
yeah,
from me because she could easily be. I mean,
I think we
I,
all had higher hopes when she came out, you know,
oh man,
but it just hasn't come to fruition yet.
right. Well, they are still releasing things from this era, from the right era.
Right.
So she could totally be. She might not be the best leader for her faction. I don't know, but I think she could fit in really well with a lot of different Mando. Like I just really want Duchess Satine or something like that from the Clone Wars
Yeah.
series, something like that.
She's pretty fun in 3v3 too. She's actually surprisingly obviously you're not taking out A or B teams, but with the expanded rosters and everything, if you put Sabine and Canderous with her, if you can afford armor, that's the best I think. But usually armor you need to save her, for higher end things. But that team can definitely get max banners, and it surprisingly can chew through stuff pretty good.
No, it's good. I think the main thing with that team in threes is not reaching too far.
Right.
I see people like they use. I've gotten into so many discussions actually with people who are like, "Man, I hate Bam, Beskar Mando on offense. He's so ridiculous. Can't kill anything. I'll just put him on defense." And I'm like, "Well, what are you trying to kill?" And their list of things that they try to kill are always so unreasonable. I'm like, you you need to stop. Like that was ridiculous that you tried to do that. Like I don't care that you saw Endall pull some next level crap with that. Like that's cool. Like Endall is good at this game, and he knows his stuff, and he's got amazing mods. Like what you need to realize is that that team will kill a specific range of things, and if they try to venture outside, you're gonna have a bad day.
Right. And the things that it does counter, like I know you like using it for the separatist teams and stuff, you usually end up with max banners. So that's
Right,
awesome.
right. So similarly, like Bo-Katan teams, I see Gom
Right.
using them in threes, and it's cool. I haven't had the courage to replicate that yet, but
Right.
she does have a use actually.
Yep.
Even if it's more limited right now than all of us probably the community would prefer.
Yeah.
So the next group of requirements, we're going to start out hot here with Qui-Gon Jinn, who a ton of old school players have him Zeta'd. I
Yep.
think you included, right?
Yeah. Yep. He was one of the first. I don't think he was the first. He could have been though. I mean, he was up there. Back in the day, he was one of but it didn't last long. But when Zetas came out, he was a top contender.
Yeah, he was absolutely, and I don't really I have him Zeta'd. I don't regret it. He got me top spot in arena for a few different months at least, and then of course things moved on to the point where he's
Right.
almost irrelevant now. But uh, yeah, I don't really regret it, frankly. Uh, so I don't know modern day uses.
Right. A
In
little
some
tougher.
ways, in some ways, I almost wish that they had made us relic him more because Relic 3 is starting to become, at least for the top divisions and stuff, like Relic 3 is starting to become like, oh, really? Only Relic 3? Yeah, that's easy to kill. Like he'd contribute more. I'd be more happy to use him if he was Relic 5 or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And to be fair, his lead is actually pretty decent, especially for some of the more obscure Jedis. Like it's especially not bad.
Yeah, absolutely agree. So he gives speed, which is always relevant, and He gains offense with a weird formula,
Right.
three
It's like
times
three
their
times
speed.
your health, or yeah, three times your speed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, it's kind of funny to think like if he was the lead with one of the Galactic Legends, they'd actually gain quite a bit of offense. But uh, it's not great now. So the thing that's interesting about it is this game scales super well on some stats, and some stats really get left behind. And this is one of them. This is flat offense gain,
Right.
and like speed hasn't changed so significantly much that it really like that this amount is that much. Like if you're 300 speed, let's say you're 333 speed, which is actually pretty tough to get for most characters still. Then you end up with a flat offense gain of 1,000, and that's just not that significant for a lot of characters.
Yeah.
You
Some of
know.
the higher end though, it would benefit greatly, like Cam or something like that. That's still 1,000 more offense on him. It'd be amazing.
Well, exactly, and that's the use I've found for him a little bit in 3v3. He can lead Mundi and some other Galactic Republic Jedi, and suddenly everyone has plus 60 speed because you have Mundi's Zeta that gives plus 30 speed. So everyone's significantly faster. Mundi is like a second leadership. Like the team can operate against C level teams fine, maybe even some B level teams depending on how good your Mundi is.
Right.
So, not the best, but also surprisingly not as shockingly terrible as a lot of people have said.
Right.
He's also got a dispel, and he's got a call to assist.
Right. Yep.
So not bad. The next guy, Clone Sergeant, Relic 5, and he is okay. He's got a ship.
Yeah, his ship is actually pretty darn good. And it can, and now that he's another one where now everyone's gonna have him at Relic 5, where most people would only go to gear 12 with him. So his ship just became that much better. It can be super annoying coming off the bench, and it's just going to be even more tanky now, and everyone's going to have it.
Yeah, that's just one of those other ones that I'm like,
Right.
do I want all my opponents to have a Relic 5 Clone Sergeant ship?
Nope.
Like, we're going to see him a lot, and it's going to be annoying.
Right. Yep.
So, yeah. Otherwise, on the squad front, I don't know, he could do some damage, I guess.
He removes turn meter. I
him.
think on it, he has an AOE that removes turn meter and stuff like that. So he's got, he's not bad.
Well, yeah, and you can do like turn meter loops on his basic. He's gaining 50% turn meter on a crit. So like he can get a lot of turns. He's not necessarily terrible. He doesn't necessarily have a place right this moment.
Right.
So yeah, he's okay. Wat at Relic 7 is, I don't know. It was hard to complain, and at the same time, I'm like, did he really need to be more than Relic 5?
Right. Yeah. Wat's always, he's one of those characters where you always love, where even at 4-star, they do their job. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every time you keep maxing him, it's like, okay, he's going to live a little bit longer than he just did. But that's all you're really, you're using him for the initial tech most of the time.
Right.
But,
I'm looking at his mastery. It's accuracy, crit avoid, and damage. So he uses one of those at least.
Right.
So yeah, that is funny. Like his relics don't actually. He's supposed to be like the tech guy, and yet the tech that you give him just doesn't do anything.
Maybe he'll be like Hermit Yoda, and another character will come out and he'll do like massive damage, like Hermit Yoda does under Jedi Master Luke.
Yeah. Wat's just like poning people left and right. There's the novelty of it. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, he's a fun character. I mean, I think what's interesting to me is his kit is completely negated by Kenobi's kit, the Galactic Legend Kenobi. Like I won't say completely negated. There's some things he does, but like the turn meter mechanics and stuff, just they're not going to be as good. So, he's good. He's amazing. In fact, there isn't a single good player out there who would balk at, like, if I was given the opportunity to gear another Wat.
Oh yeah,
I would instantly take that opportunity.
Oh my god, could you imagine having it on offense and defense, or being allowed to use it twice on offense? It'd be nuts.
Yeah. Like the armor is decent, but she looks so bad compared to him.
Right.
Like that's what because she's basically she's a babysitter as well. She's in that group, like she's babysitting people. Watt babysits the Galactic Legends, so does she. But Watt's like, I'll babysit anyone, and
Right.
anyone will like I'll fabricate a team for you.
Right. Like we both, and I think you started it using her with crew and executioner in a 3v3 scenario. That team's amazing. It punches so far up, you know. It's so good.
Oh man, I love that team.
Yeah,
That it
I
is so
use it
good.
almost all the time. If I don't have to use Watt somewhere, that's where it's going. And then I'll just kill something for 54.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like it's a tragedy sometimes. I'm like, really, I have to use you with the Galactic Legend. This is annoying
Right.
because I want to use him for his other like, he's always useful. That I don't. I wonder if there's a match since he's been released, since I've had him, where I haven't used him.
Yeah,
Actually,
it doesn't happen often at all.
right.
That's for sure.
All right, so General Grievous at Relic 7 is required, and actually, I think I want to get him Relic 8.
Yeah.
Um, Anything fancy about him, other than him being a good character, obviously. But
No, I mean this was a layup. I think most people, if you are going to have Grievous at R7 because he's just so good as a character on his own. You want him at R7 naturally, and a lot of people, like you said, are taking him to R8. So he scales very well. Uh, but yeah, I mean he's Grievous. He does everything. He's a staple in defense
yeah, and he's the
predominantly.
fleet commander for the second best
Right,
fleet.
right,
So
right,
really, I mean, this list of characters to gear here, it's like a lot of them you're just gonna want them geared anyways.
right.
So yeah, lead. The thing I really like about him, like what I'm doing with my Prevail Man account, it's low level, like I think I'm in Division 9 right now or something like
Hmm.
but that. I have a Relic 3 Grievous, and then so I just put a bunch of worthless Separatists in for bad banners, and what people do, like if they're just Gear 1 Separatists, and so someone does an AoE and kills one of them, and
And
Grievous is
Grievous
like, I
goes
will.
nuts.
Yeah, and then like I have it staggered so that they're like I'm like, oh well, I have another one that won't die from one AoE. He'll die from two AoEs.
Right.
So then they do a second one, and Grievous goes nuts, and you just slowly just like rend the team to death. You're like 47 banners, and that was super satisfying.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He stayed relevant actually somehow. He actually kills Galactic Legends too. He kills the latest two. He kills Jedi Master Luke and Sith Eternal Emperor at a decent rate, depending on who's with them.
Right. Yep.
So,
He
yeah,
can definitely get
he's
them whittled down, if nothing else.
absolutely. Okay, so Magna Guard. Magna Guard is I had a hard time complaining about him. Like I always want him relicked anyways, because
Yeah. I think I had him Relic 3, and truthfully, I always wanted more, but just there's always been other characters that, you kind of are forced to Relic
right.
sooner. But a situation like this comes out, and it's like, well, there's no shame in this. I've been wanting to do this anyway, so I'll take him up to R5, no problem.
Yeah, I had no complaints about that. Complaints that other people will have him
Right.
there. Again, yes. How do you have him modded, out of curiosity?
Oh boy, let's look. I think all defense sets with protection primaries.
Okay.
Pretty much just make them thick.
I give him a ton of tenacity, as much as I
Oh
can.
yeah,
137 is what he's at right now, which
yeah,
isn't too much, I guess. But it I like the idea of people not being able to casually land like buff immunity on him.
mm,
So
yeah.
then they're just like hitting him with their basic, and he's like, "I'll hit you back and taunt," and just
Right.
be an annoying disruption.
Yeah, that is annoying. I actually hate that.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going for max annoyance,
Right.
basically. All right, so that's it for the second week. Let's look at the final week of requirements, and this one actually surprised me a little bit. A lot
Yes.
of them I could have predicted a little, like they were all kind of predictable. Oh, the one that surprised me the most, and I actually had given voice to it. I thought it was kind of a cool idea. I didn't think it was likely. Was Cad Bane, and so everyone had him at like gear 12 because his ship is good,
Right.
but like Relic 5, it's one of those awkward things. It's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
They just keep going up, like in
Right?
Talladega
Yep.
Nights.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know what to do. Exactly.
No,
So
yeah, everyone, CAD ship has often been, underestimated, but it's always been pretty good. And now that it's R5, that's another one where uh, I hate that everyone else is going to have a R5.
well, yeah, like this is going to make it so easy for people to fall into the new bounty hunter fleet, whatever it is. And my
Right,
guess is we'll get another ship that's going to complete that fleet. So,
right.
plus another bonus to him is he could make the top 10 list of blue characters. So,
Yeah, I thought about that when we were talking about Aayla.
yeah, he's on the list. There's a lot of blue characters apparently.
At first, there was only one, and then it turns out.
I know that escalated quickly.
Right.
Yeah. So honestly, one thing I will say too, though, it's kind of passed him by, frankly. But
He still
because of
has
his
some
ship,
control. Yeah, he does stun too. I like characters that
yeah.
stun.
Well, he stuns, he dispels, and his stun move is the dispel, and it can't
Mm,
be evaded.
yeah,
So, and that's nice, and I think it can actually be reset somehow. I forget what the condition is,
mm,
but it removes turn meter. It's a good ability, and honestly, on a new player account, you could go way worse than Cad Bane because he's easy to
right,
farm, and he's got the stun and dispel. He's got double tap, if he's with boss lead, you're gonna get it a little bit faster.
right. Yep,
You know, he's very solid for what he does. He's really solid. I really like his character. Obviously, the lore of him doesn't
right,
matter as much in this
right.
game, but he is a very solid character. As a foundational character, like getting him to gear 12 kind of early on wouldn't be your worst choice.
Right. Yep. That's where mine had been for a couple of years, up
And
until a week
still would
ago.
be.
Right.
Yep, until Kenobi intervened.
Right.
Yes. All right. So the one that's most annoying to me, though, everyone's gonna have a Relic 7 Jango.
Right. And that's one where, I've had them at R6 forever. And it's one that I wouldn't mind having an R7 or even R8, to be honest. But he never didn't do what I needed him to do. So I didn't have a reason to take him to R7 until now. But that's one that might need to go to R8, like you were saying.
Oh man, for real, he is so good. Like his unique is one of the best in the games, in my opinion. Just in terms of just sheer utility of it. I mean, just being able to like in 3v3, he is a monster in 3v3.
Yeah.
I love him. Like with
I,
separatists, he's amazing.
I know you've been using him under Newt, right?
Yes.
And I'm too much of a chicken to not use him on offense in 3v3, especially.
Oh man, it took a while for me to do that. Like you you
I
you
lean
saw
on
it.
him.
You
I
see me.
lean on Bounty, I lean on him pretty hard as a skeleton key character. Where it's like, I don't know what I'm going to
Yeah.
do with this team. Oh, I have an idea. Bounty
Oh,
hunters.
oh no, you're right though. Like they kill everything
Right,
that isn't like A
right,
list or A
right.
plus whatever.
Oh, Night Sisters. Okay. Mon
Yeah.
Mothma. Okay. You know,
Well, yeah. Like,
Separatists. Okay.
do you have a really great like auto taunt? Who cares? Do you have a
Right,
really great revive mechanic? Who cares? Do you have a
right,
great healing mechanic? Like he does all the things. He creates a situation where, like, yeah, he just ignores all the rules.
right,
And in 3v3 especially, where mechanics really, really dominate things, it's like
right.
if you can't get past Bosk's taunt, you're just screwed. But with him, he's just like, I could do that. And
Right.
we're
And
good.
he's so good under Separatist lead where he starts in damage immunity for 2 turns or whatever it is. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and in terms like we've been talking GAC a lot, and that's really the focus of this channel, so I don't no regrets at all. But like in the Rancor raid, I know that people were using him just under like random separatist leads
Hmm.
just to finish the Crancor. Like if you have
Yep.
a low level guild, like you just get an automatic, just like one big nuke shot with
Right.
him before
Yep.
the Rancor, kills you.
Yep.
But that's nice if you need that last little boost, he's there for you.
Yep.
So yeah, Jango, amazing character in almost every situation, honestly. Um, Cody, little trickier.
Right.
Before we go the route of Rancor food, what kind of things do you have to say about Cody?
As of right now, like my plan with him uh, is to use him when 5v5 comes back as a 5th on Bad Batch. So you want another clone on that team, and he does pretty decent on it. I was saying earlier that he stuns on his first special, I think, and everything. So, and he has a call to assist for everybody on his second special. So he's got some uses.
Yeah, he's fine. In terms of, I'm glad that he came out, like that he's required now when Bad Batch is just now being released, because you're right, like he slots into that team pretty seamlessly. He doesn't need to be the lead because he
Right.
can call everyone to assist. He's got a stun on his AoE, which you showed to me, by the way. Not, I won't take credit for that, for knowing that, because I've paid so little attention. But right now, yeah, as the 5th on that team is pretty good, because the like calling all the Bad Batch guys to do their basics is
Right.
it's nice, frankly.
Yep.
And I just embarrassed myself by looking at what mods I had on him. Um, while we're
Yeah,
doing
mine's
this.
not great. He's another one that's been Gear 12 forever,
Yeah.
but I'm kind of happy that I was forced to relic him.
Yeah, I put tenacity cross on him just because it's +9 speed. Like, who cares?
Right.
Crit chance, yeah. Actually, crit chance isn't bad for him, but just because he needs crits to be able to stun.
Land that stun, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, he'll. I think it'll be like, hey, look, it'll be like a renaissance for him. He's like, I found a use. I'm being used consistently with Bad Batch, and then
Right.
we'll get like a 5th Bad Batch character, and he'll just be dropped.
Right.
Like everyone will be like, yeah, Cody, go feed the Rancor. It's time.
Right. Everyone, I mean, granted, this video is specific to GAC, how we're going to use these characters in GAC, but having Clone Sergeant and Cody and GK now means that you can do that special in territory battles. So, and that's still really hard, but at least
Yeah.
there's a use for them outside of that too.
No, I look forward to the day that I spend credits to remod him for it and just get demolished immediately.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's literally all the videos I've seen. I'm just like, that sucked.
But you can attempt it.
Right, yeah. Like my guild, I think we had like over half the guild try it because now we have him, and
Right.
we literally got
Yeah.
one set of, it was like +12, yay GT2. But you're right, like he will have a use there, and maybe because of that node, I'm gonna just slate him as the character that's most likely in this group to get a rework. Actually,
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that for sure.
like not guaranteed, but I think if I had to pick one to get reworked, that would
Right.
be him.
I bet he gets a touch up. Yep, I agree.
That would be nice. Yeah. Next one, Grandmaster Yoda is going, like, he's out everyone. He's everyone's Relic 5 character.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's Relic 8, and he's gonna be the same thing, just hit harder, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what can you say about GMY? Everyone loves him. He goes so good. I mean, he has a lot of uses, whether it's on a Jedi Knight Revan or now more of a Padme team. But he's great. And
Yeah,
he's just going to be greater.
sure. Well, yeah, like the Relic 8, it ensures that you're gonna use him, but he's also, I think he's going to end up on the Kenobi team. Like, I am a little bit, like, legitimately stressing out just a tiny bit about what is going to happen to the Jedi Revan team.
Yeah, well, and this is another one. He's really good on a Jedi Master Luke team. Right now, he's phenomenal on that team. So who knows, if he comes off of that and goes under, Galactic Legend Kenobi.
Yeah. No, he is amazing. He does a lot of damage. He does all the things you want him to. He's
Spreading
territory battles. He's amazing. Conquest. He's amazing just for various different things. Spreading the various evasion buffs, etc.
And
One of the most versatile characters. So the real question is, does he is his leadership going to be semi-required the way Sidious as Zeta is? I'm curious.
Oh, you know what? That would make people feel good about. I'm one of the few that didn't Zeta him as lead because a lot of people did that, and then what, like 2 weeks later, Bastila comes out and her lead too.
I know.
Is
I
that
know.
what
I
happened?
stubbornly clung on to his lead for a couple
Right.
more weeks just out of protest.
Right.
But
I don't have it, but you're right. Maybe just like I already had Sidious's, but maybe I'm forced to put a Zeta on him just for the unlock to not waste tickets. That's a good call.
yeah, I
That's a
wonder.
really good call, actually. Holy cow!
I do wish that evil on you.
Right. At this point, I've got so many Zetas.
I know.
I,
I
I
know.
think I've
It's
got
like
like
who cares?
350 mats right now. I
Yeah,
can
yeah, me too. Actually, I already have the leader, so I'm happy to. I'm
right.
happy to for everyone else to have that pain, and then maybe you and I won't have the crazy close matchup GP that
Yeah.
we currently do.
Yeah, it's nuts.
You'll be one Zeta ahead of me. So Shaak Ti is the one that I just don't want to take her to Relic 7 because
Yeah.
Relic 5 is perfect for her. She doesn't need any more.
Yeah. I've had her at 6 forever. 7 kind of hurt a little bit, but I mean, she is a phenomenal character that gets used a ton. So it's like,
Yeah.
why not? You know,
You're right. I say that, and I'm like, I don't really mind. Really,
right.
like Relic 7 is gonna be fine for her. She's the leader of clones. She's the leader. Like she's a great member of almost any Jedi team. Frankly, she's a great character everywhere. Just
Hmm.
because, like, she just does all the things. She dispels people. She helps give buffs to everyone. She gives offense up to everyone on
Yep.
basic.
Yep. Yep. She's great under JML with her dispel on basic and giving offense up. She's phenomenal. How much use did we get out of her on a Padme team to kill DR back in the day before
Mm.
Galactic Legends come out? Like, we've got our money's worth from her, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see. I don't even know, like what does canon officially say about her death? Do you know anything about that? Because
I do
there's a few
not.
different. Okay, because there's this deleted scene of Anakin coming in and killing her while she's meditating while she's in the temple,
Mm,
and it's like real lame. People are like, oh well, she fought like the Anakin, like Anakin, the dark side traitor
right.
version, like. He fought several meaningful battles, including killing Shaak Ti. I'm like, no, he fought one meaningful battle against Kenobi and lost because he's a
Right.
dummy. Otherwise, he slaughtered younglings,
And
and like he
Tuscans.
didn't. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
like the animals, yeah, the
Right.
women and children. And then Shaak Ti is just like the scene is super awkward. She's just like meditating, and he comes in and just like stabs her in the back, and she dies. Like I'm glad it got deleted. It's stupid. So just like she
I
got
didn't know that
deleted
was a
by him.
deleted scene.
Yeah, yeah, you have to look it up.
I will.
Yeah, it's interesting. But then I've heard like there are other stories about how she died. I don't know if that counts as canon or not, but that's neither here nor there. Love Shaak Ti as a
Right.
character. She always find a use for her.
Right.
And that is it actually. So which which one are you the most excited like which one that you had to upgrade are you the most excited about using?
Probably Django.
Yeah,
And I
me
might
too.
even take him one step higher, depending on, I'm relic poor right now. My last
Right.
requirement that I need fulfilled is taking GMY from R7 to R8, which I'll do before Wednesday, but I am pretty relic poor, especially with like all the stuff to, from the scavenger thing to turn into relics and whatnot. It's getting rough. Some of the earlier relic stuff.
I know all my stuff is just running out.
Right.
I'm like starting to eye the packs. I'm like, do I really want to spend crystals on this? Dear Lord,
Right.
or money on the relic mats, but it's getting to that
It's getting
point
there. Yeah.
where whales or light whales like us are like out,
Right.
just strapped for them. Meanwhile, my alt is just like swimming in them still because I my highest relic on that account is 5, and then the next highest is 3. So it's
That's awesome.
it's an embarrassment of wealth over
Right.
there. Yeah. Anyways, I think we got to better wrap this up before we hit the 40-minute mark, dear Lord.
Holy
But
cow.
Glesso, it was a pure joy to have you on. I'm going to link your YouTube channel
Great.
and your Twitch channel in
Yep.
the video description, guys. Go follow Klesso. He knows what he's talking about. One of the best executors in the game in terms of like he understands the theory and then he goes out and just does it. It's amazing. Really must watch stuff. So, anything else last minute, Klesso?
No, I just appreciate you having me me on. We haven't done one of these videos yet, and it was a ton of fun. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah, dude, super fun. We'll have you on again. So, thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Zareth and more than Zareth, Klesso prevails.